Emilie Kiser's declaration from her lawsuit in May to seal records about her 3-year-old son Trigg's death are now public. And we now know her son tripped and drowned in the backyard of the pool in their Chandler home. Just seems like a tragic accident.
It's awful, and she had filed a lawsuit to block the release of certain government records about her son's death. 12 News journalist Trisha Hendricks, she's got more on what those new documents reveal.
In the newly released statement, Emilie Kiser wrote her son's death was the most severe and emotional event she has ever experienced, and that it has devastated her entire family. She went on to say she would forever second guess her decision of not being home at the time of the drowning.
It's everybody looking from the outside in.
Peoria mom Emilie Kiser says you never forget the loss of your child. Sadly, she knows that pain firsthand.
You can get distracted, and that's the the bad part of it. This is Eric in the pool. He loved it.
15 years ago, her son Eric crawled through a hole in her screen door and fell into the backyard pool. Not a day goes by where she doesn't think about what could have been.
When you get that hole, things are quiet. You have to figure out where they are.
That's why she was drawn to read more about the Kiser case. Kiser doesn't know all the details either, but does know what those parents are probably dealing with inside, and says there's no time limit on grief.
This is Eric.
While the loss of her own son is hard to bear, she has spoken publicly to raise awareness, but also to honor her son. While Elisa's situation and the circumstances surrounding her son's death were different than those of the Kiser case, it will always be one of the most difficult things she has ever been through. But she and her family continue to honor her son Eric. In fact, his twin brother just graduated from high school this past May, and he did something special in his brother's memory.
He wore a pin of his brother's picture on his graduation gown. He wanted his brother to walk with him. I wasn't gonna cry, but that was the only way that his brother could be with him. And not only when my son's name was called to graduate and get his diploma did I cry for him, I cried for his brother, because he couldn't be there with him.
According to an unsealed court filing, while Emilie acknowledges she did choose to be a social media influencer and expose her family to the public, the quote, graphic details and specific evidence of her son's accidental drowning death were not necessary for anyone to see.